Hey everybody, how are you? I am getting set up on my computer today because my tablet decided to do an update right as I was trying to get everything set up, and it's still updating. And now my computer doesn't want to work either, so I can't see. Here we go. Okay. Hopefully I will be able to see your comments. I hope, because I've never done this on the computer before, so we shall see if this works or not. Oh yay, Corinna, thank you for you have a meeting at 3:30. That's okay. Now I can see your comments. So thank you for commenting so I know if it works on my computer. So that's actually perfect. Hey Paula, how are you? So we're going to be doing these cute little dragons today, which I'm super excited about. So I colored these. I didn't get a chance to do this yesterday, so I colored these today. And the artist that makes these, Dustin Pike, actually said that he liked my coloring on these. And it's always so fun when an artist will tell you that they like your coloring. So super, super fun, and I'm super excited about that. That was fun. But this is a really cute stamp set, and I love all of his dragons. If you didn't get this stamp set because it's not a digi, there are dragon digis in his stuff on Whimsy Stamps, and I will look for some of the dragons and go and buy some so we can do some more. Okay? So, oh, definitely the biggest compliment you can ever get is that the artist likes how you colored their images. So that just made my heart just go crazy today. It was like super, super exciting. So it looks like we have a few people in here, so I'm just going to go ahead and get started on these. So now it's stuck. Oh, it's actually in the package. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to start with this guy here, because this gives us a little bit of practice with the juice and how he would look underneath liquid versus coming out, you know, because he's half out and half in. So I'm going to start with this one first. So I hope you guys can see this okay. This is like ginormous on my computer screen. So I'm going to start with him, and then I'll go on to the balloon afterwards. So I'm actually, when I started this, I'm going to go ahead and start with my B000, my B01, and my B00. And I'm going to do the lower half of his body first. So I'm going to start with B01 first. And I'm just gonna, there's a line right here where the liquid goes. And I'm not doing anything. I'm not like trying to shade. I'm not trying to anything. I'm just going straight across where his body is. Now on this one, you have to be careful. The line's right here, but his body only goes over to right here. This right here is nothing but juice. Okay? So then I'm going to go ahead and do a little bit of B00. And I'm going to try my best to stay out of his eyeball, because I know I just got his eyeball. But I'm going to go ahead and stay out of that and just come in a little bit more. smooth out those lines, and then I'm going to go to the B000. Oh, Susan, there's a little story behind my nails, and that has to go with me just being diagnosed with psoriatic arthritis in my hands and in my nails. I never knew that nails could actually be affected by arthritis, but that's one of the reasons that you could see directly through my nails, and so it made them look dirty all the time. And I actually had somebody on my Instagram say, "Ooh, gross, look at her nails." And so ever since then, I have been completely and totally, utterly mortified and self-conscious of my nails. And so finally, I just decided that I was going to go and have them done, because one of them actually split all the way down here halfway through the bed of this one, and it looked really bad. So I went and got one. I went and got my nails done this weekend and just said, you know, enough is enough. I'm just going to go get them done. That way I don't have to be self-conscious about it. And that way I don't have to, you know, I just don't have to feel bad about my nails. It's in my toes too. My toes are the worst. So that's really embarrassing, because it looks like, it's so gross. It looks like you have a nail fungus, but you don't. It's arthritis. So it's really crazy to me. So for this, oh, thank you, Corinna. It is the worst. It is absolutely the worst. And if your friend has it too, you know exactly what she's going through. And like my big toe, the whole entire nail, I took a bath this weekend and the whole entire nail just came off. Just floated to the top of the water. It was disgusting. So, yeah, not fun. But so the bowl, I went ahead and did the whole outside. Okay, even on the bowl, because the bowl is going to be clear, so it's going to take on the color of the juice. And then I'm going to go ahead and do the little cups. And I'm just doing like the very edges of the cups where the juice is at. And I'm not getting really fancy with the juice or anything like that, because for me the focus is totally on the little dragon. Thank you, Susan. Thank you so much. So now I'm going to use RO2, and I'm going to bring this color out and just blend the red out a little bit. Now on the dragon, he is going to, you know, you're going right over the blue, and he's going to turn colors, but that's totally and completely what we want, because we want him to look like he is submerged into the juice. So, and I'm just going back behind, because you know the juice is going behind him, but his arm is blocking right here. So now I'm just going to stay right up at that line. And then his eye, I'm going to go ahead and cover with the red, because that actually, you know, that will change color. It's not going to be blue like it was with him before. When I started writing. Oh, yep. See, I have 3 of them as well. It's almost as if you can't just have one. You got to have 3 autoimmune diseases, and it's not fun at all. So I've got the fibromyalgia, I've got the psoriatic arthritis, and I've got cyclic vomiting syndrome, which is just as fun as it sounds. So I'm going to use RO1 and finish out the juice, or the wine. like Paula wants. I don't know if we'd be sticking wine. Maybe we could call it sangria, because I don't know if I'd stick bottles of wine in a big old juice thing like this, big old punch bowl. So we'll go with I'm gonna go with sangria. Sangria sounds so good right now. Paula, what did you start, woman? Let's see. Now for the rest of him, I'm actually just going to use my B00, and I'm going to go over him one more time just to bring that blue out a little bit more. And I'm not getting too fancy with it. I'm just having fun. Ooh, I had orange Fanta last night, Corinna. So, yeah, yum. I have to have Fanta, orange Fanta with my pizza. So let's see, what else am I using? I am using my T2 and my T0. Now, the T2 and the T0 are just basically for the glass. So I'm just going to go ahead and go from the sides. And I'm going to go in. Oops, I forgot the stuff that's in the spoon. So I'll get that here just a minute. So I'm just putting some color on the glass of the punch bowl, sangria bowl, wine bowl, watermelon martini bowl, orange Fanta. I mean, I could go on. All the wonderful things to stick in this bowl. So let's see, I'm just going to go ahead and get these. Let's see, that was the T2, and then I'll do the, actually I have to do the wine stuff before. Here we go. So I'm just going to get the very tips of this little splash. Here we go. And then get the inside here. And it looks like it goes up a little bit higher. I'm not exactly sure if this ring right here is part of the drink or not. And I'm actually going through the rim, since the rim, it's clear glass, right? So I just went ahead and went through that part. And that's why I said I needed to do this before I actually did the rest of the glass. Okay, so now I can finish with the T0. Whoops, there we go. And just go ahead and finish all of this out. And I'm using the 110 paper. That's why I'm able to just do all the layers right now and not worry about it. So now you can actually just use a clear pen to go and do the bubbles if you want to. Or what I did with this one is I just filled it in with some white. So you can make more bubbles by, let's see, where did my clear go? Here it is. So I'm just gonna push this out. So you can see that the color is just getting pushed out completely. And if you want to, you can put more little bubbles. I love putting like extra little bubbles and things just because it's fun. Gives it that little, you know, extra little, like, you know, that there's lots of little bubbles in like soda pop or something, like if it really was Fanta. And then I can just, where is my, here it is. So, and if you want them to match these bubbles, then you can just take a Sharpie pen and kind of go around. Okay, and I didn't go all the way around the circle. I just went partly around the circle. Yes, I love his images too. They are just, they're so fun and they're so cute. And I love the, I really, really love like his imagination that goes into making them. So then I'm going to use my RO2 and just kind of do on one side of the bubbles. And then I'm going to use my white. This one is an 8. So actually my 8 will be too thick. Let me try. Yep, here's my 5. And I'll just put some little tiny tiny white marks. And then you can do other, like, you can put more little bubbles in there if you want, if you think that's not enough. So lots of bubbles, and then you can put like bubbles in these ones. You know, another thing you can do too is you can put little ice cubes in them. So now for him, so we want to make him the regular, you know, his regular color, and you don't have to use blue and green. You can use any color you want. I just happen to like the blue color. So for him, I'm going to be using B18, B05, B06, and B02, and B01. Okay, so 18, 6, 5, 2, and 1. The 18 we're going to set aside. That's going to be very, very last. That's our contrast color. And I'm going to start out with B06. So with him, you have to be kind of careful because you don't want to get this in the juice. So you have to kind of go along the line. And I just finished that out underneath there just because that's easier. Then I'm going to go around his toes because this is just the shadow part. So we're just going on the inside of his toes. And then normally I would put something on his smile right here, but it's underwater, so we're not going to go there. So I'm just going to go right here. Oh, you know what? I didn't finish the 0 across here. Oh well, I'll do it after he's all done. So since it's clear, we're going to go through the glass. And we're going to do right here, make sure you don't get his eye because it's really hard to distinguish his eye from everything else. And then we'll get right here. Okay, have a good day, Corinna. I'm going to go ahead and get his arm, and underneath his thumb and underneath the ladle, he'll have a darker blue. And then I'm just going to get around his little fingers, and I'll get the back side of his finger there. And then I'm going to get the back side of his leg and his tail. So this one right here, his you can kind of see, you're supposed to be able to see his bottom right here through the glass, but I'm actually going to use a lighter color. That way it looks muted through the glass. I don't want it to be completely a 6. Up here, it's okay because it's not going through 2 things of glass, it's going through 1 thing of glass. So it really wouldn't be that muted. So I'm going to get behind there. I'm going to do the back side of his leg. And then I'm going to get the top of his toe right here. And don't worry, if you're worried about, oh, it's not going to stand out, you're going to lose your depth. That's what the B18 is for. So I'm just getting behind his head where the sun wouldn't hit. And let's see, it's not going to hit right here where his wings are at. Maybe between his wings. And then I'm going to get just the tips of his little wings right here, because the inside, the webbing part of his wings, I actually did a lighter color. And I'm going to get the back side of that. This is going to take thin lines. So I'm just getting the other underneath parts. And I think I got all, nope, I didn't, right here, his tail. So now I think I've got all of it. So now I'm going to move on and I'm going to do the exact same thing with the B05. I'm just going to pull it out slightly. Now, if we don't get to the one with the balloon, what I'm going to do, because I don't know how I'm doing on time right now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to start off with the balloon, because you're already going to know the colors and how I did this dragon. So you're going to know how to do the other dragon. So if I don't get to that, I will just start with the balloon first, just to be sure. And if you guys want me to, just let me know, and I can do another day where we can do the other dragon if you want. Not a big deal, because I love coloring these dragons. I could color them all day. So just pulling all of this color out. There we go. Thank you, Paula. And it's not 2:30. You messing me up, girlfriend. It's 3:30 here. You are messing me up. I miss you. You need to hurry up and finish your craft room so we can talk. Okay, so there's that. Now I'm going to go with my BO2. And this one I'm actually going to pull out even further. And I'm just going to pull out from both sides. I'm going to finish up his wing here, except for I'm leaving this right here. This one I'm not going to do at all. I'm going to leave that one alone. And I'm actually going to start coloring in this part of his wing. There we are. So I'm just doing little, I'm not even flicking really, I'm more just doing like little dabs. That way I do save the room that I need to save for the B01. Let's see. This one I'm just going to go ahead and finish this part out because the sun's not going to hit that anyway. Go ahead. I'm leaving the top of his foot alone. I'm going to come up from behind and leave just a little bit. Finish out his bottom and his tail because the light's not going to hit his tail. There we go. You're fine, Paula. I figured you were doing it to mess with me. Being a stinker like I am all the time, you know. So now I'm using the B01 and I'm going to finish out all of his little parts, even his little cheek that's right here. I'm also going to fill in this part of the bowl with some blue because you'll be able to see him through it. And then I'm just going to go ahead and finish this part out. And I'm basically just finishing out all the parts of his body. Let's see. I got his toes. I need to get the rest of his head. The rest of his wings here. Let's see. There we go. Okay, so that part is done. Now I'm just going to go back with my B18 and I'm going to get all the parts that need to have darker shadows. So like right here behind his horn and right up to the top of his foot. And I'm going to get right here behind his leg and right here behind the bowl. And we need a little here and a little at the top of his tail and just kind of taper that off. I'm also going to put some right here at the back of his leg. So his leg will stand out and that'll bring it forward a little bit. You can even put some right there if you want. Then I'm going to put some right behind his head here, because that'll bring his head forward. And as you can see, I'm not putting a whole lot. So you're just going to either want to dab it or you're going to want to use really thin lines. So let's see. And then put some right here next to his horn. Bring his horn forward. And then we can put some on his toes. That'll kind of separate out his toes a little bit. You can even do some at the top, bring his toes forward. Put some right there on his foot. And then I forgot to do the top of his nose. So the top of his nose, I'm actually going to color with B02, and I'm just going to do the very top. That's it. And that's it for the blue. So now we have to do, his horns are super easy. That's just E41, E42, and E43, and you don't even have to use all of them if you don't want to. But I'm going to go ahead and get a little bit of shadow here, and a little bit right here where they bend. And again, I'm going to go through the glass. And then I need E42. And then I'll finish it off with the E41. And there's his horns, easy peasy. So let's see, now we need to do his belly and his scales, which are the green. And I used G17, YG17, YG03, YG07, YG00, and G24. I know it seems like a lot, but it'll make sense, I promise. So I'm going to start with G24, and I'm just going to put a thin line across the bottom half of all of his scales and the bottom half of his belly. So just like so. And then this one, I'm just going to go right across here, and then I'm going to do all the lines. Then we'll use the YG17, and we're going to do the same thing just because it makes that a little bit darker. And I want to have that real dark, shadowy contrast on there. And it's funny because with just the G24, it's not that dark. With just the YG17, it's not that dark. But you put them both together, and it's the exact darkness that I'm looking for. So now I'm going to use YG07, and I'm going to start brightening it up a little bit. And I'm just pulling that color out a tiny bit. And this makes it easier for the colors to blend as well. Lots of just really small kind of dotty type work when it comes to this. And then YG03. YG03 I use mostly on his belly or his tail. I guess his belly doesn't go down that far. And then YG00, I'm going to pull it into the colors. I'm not going to push anything out. I'm actually going to pull this in. Because I don't want to bring any more dark color out. I want it to be a little bit like a bright little hello, look at me kind of a thing. There we go. So now he's done. Now all I have to do is finish the bowl, which was T0, now that he is completely done. And I'm just going to go right over the top of all of this. That way his eyes and everything look like they are behind the glass. And now I have to do the spoon. The spoon, sounds crazy, but yes, there's actually 4 colors on that spoon. The spoon is Y38, 15, 13, and 18. So I'm actually going to start off with 18. I'm going to go on this side of the handle, go underneath his fingers. Whoops, I just went out of the line there. Oh well, I'll get it later. And I'm just going to go around the back side and then taper that off a little bit. And I'm going to go on the inside just a little bit right there. Now I'm going to do the same thing with the 15, but I'm going to go very lightly. I'm not going to pull all of it out. I'm going to finish that part off. And then here's the 13. And the 13, I'm going to go ahead and finish the whole thing off. Here we go. And then the 30, the Y38 is just for a little bit of contrast here at the bottom. And then underneath his fingers to make it all come out a little bit. Just like that. Then, of course, I've got the white pen, because we can't forget the white pen. And that I'm going to put a nice little shiny spot here. I'm going to go along his back where the sun is hitting, the front of his leg. I'm going to go to the back of his tail, just because it needs a little bit of shine, right? Actually, you know what else does too, is his little tail, his belly tail. Everybody wants a little shine, right? There we go. And then on his wings. You can do it on his scales too if you want to. I just didn't feel like doing it that much. And then I'm going to put some up here. And then on the drink glasses. And then we'll put some along the bottom. So there is that one. Now I'm going to start with the balloon of this one. And I kind of kept it the same color so that we could just, it would be easier to work with the colors. So I'm going to flip him around. And we're going to start out with the yellows. Thank you, Paula. So I think he would be, you know what, I think he'd be really cute in like pinks or purples or red. I really think he would be cute just as any color. I used blue and green just because that's my favorite color. So I'm going to start off with the balloon. We're going to put the Y38 aside and we're going to start out with the Y18. So the Y18, since he's laying on the balloon and it looks like he's kind of gripping it, so I think I would be praying to God that it didn't pop on me. So I'm going to go ahead and color in where there's shadow with the 18. And just get that nice and colored in there, get those shadows in there, because you know there's no light with him hugging on that balloon. There is no light in there. And then I'm just going to come along right here and make some shadow lines in the balloon. Just make it look more round. Then I'm going to use the Y15. And I'm going to bring those lines out. I'm not going to color on this line. Okay, I'm just coloring in towards the center. There we go. And then I'm going to use the Y13 to color in the rest of the balloon. And I'm just going to finish it off. There we go. So now I'm going to go ahead and use the Y38. And this balloon has a few layers on it, just so y'all know. I'm actually going to go in with the 38 in most of the little shading areas or shadow areas, whatever you want to call it. You guys know me, I'm not an art major at all. I'm going to go around the side, the balloon, just like I did with the 18. And now I'm going to pull it out with the 18. I know, sounds crazy, but it's a crazy day. What can I say? So now I'm going to pull it out with the 18. And the reason I'm doing it this way is because doing the first layer of ink, I'm just, like I've said before, I'm just building, whoops, I forgot up here. I'm just building the ink, okay? I'm building up the color because you guys know by now it changes the colors. Whoops, that's not the right one. I want 15. But it builds the color up. And it's not the same. So I'm actually going over the 13 with the 15, but look how much lighter it is now compared to what it was the first time. Then I'm going to go ahead and go back. I'm going to do those lines again. I'm going to bring those in a little bit more so that they really stand out. And then I'm going to do this, just a little bit of a line. Hopefully you guys can see that. And instead of going to 18, I'm going to go to 15 and I'm just going to finish this out. And then if you want to, you can always put that Y38 back in there. So there, that's basically the balloon, and then I just put some white lines on it. So let me see if I can get the little dragon done really fast. See how long it takes me to do him. So he's essentially the same as this one, except he's got this nose that we get to color this time. That's really cute. So I'm going to go ahead and color his nose, get his little nostrils in there. And just like I did the balloon, I'm not going right up to the black line, but I am going to put a little bit of dark right there. And then it's going to be shaded there and behind his eyes. And then I'm going to go ahead and come in on this side just a little bit and get his mouth, get behind his little horn there. And then we'll get his back and behind his wings. And then do behind his leg, and then get the back side of his leg. and the bottom of his foot, because those will all have shading, and so will the top just right here a little bit, and his toes. Now his fingers and this front arm are going to all be blocked by his head. So I'm just going to go ahead. You'll have a little bit of shading on both sides, because if the sun's coming from this direction, then almost his whole entire arm right here is going to get hit with shadow. And then we're going to go ahead and get his tail. And then his back side will have a little bit of shading too, but I kind of want some of him to have a lighter color, so I'm not going to completely color that in. And then we're going to go to the 05 and just pull this out a little bit. Would you guys like me to find a Digi-Dragon 2 of his to do, and we can do it in a different color? Maybe you guys can suggest a color for another time. Because I know some people like to do them in just regular, green, which a green color, I would just go ahead and use the colors that I'm using for his belly. And maybe you can switch it, maybe blue scales with a green belly. And then I'm going to also just get a little bit of his nostrils here. So now it's BO2. And this is going to come out quite a bit. We're almost going to basically finish it out, because the BO1 is just going to be the highlight. So we're just going to leave a little bit of space for the highlight. And it's nice when you go dark to light, because then you can choose how much highlight you want and how much you don't want. And you have a little bit more control without over blending everything. There we go. Purple and pink. I think it's just the one dragon, but I think if we did him in purple or pink, we could probably and more than likely make him look like a girl. I think it's just, how you color it, whether it looks like a boy or if it looks like a girl dragon. And I completely forgot his wings. Can you guys believe that? Well, I can, actually. So I'm going to go ahead and finish out his back side. Go ahead and color that. I'll go ahead and get the start of the inside of his wings. Let's see. So the 6, whoops, would be this part. I don't know, do you guys think that he would look like, the dragon would look like a girl if we just made him in girl colors? Or do you think he just definitely looks like a boy? Because I feel like he would look like a girl if we colored him like a girl. Let's see, and then BO5. And then BO2 again. And then I'm going to use BO1. So here we go, and just finish out his little wings. And we're going to go ahead and finish out his whole body. Probably doesn't help that I'm sitting here calling him a him either. So here we go. Get the rest of his little mouth. I just think this dragon is so cute. Oh my goodness, look at that. I completely forgot his other hand. What the heck? Paula, you normally tell me when I forget their body parts. What's up? So I'm going to go ahead and finish out his hand and his foot. And then I'll go ahead and do his hand that I forgot. Oh, you have seen him? And girl, you weren't even searching for digi stamps. This stamp actually isn't in a digi. This one is actually just a clear stamp set. But there are other digi stamps of the dragons. There we go. And his hand over here, I'm going to finish out in BO2 because that's not getting any light underneath his face. So now I'm going to switch back to the greens. The stamp set wasn't that, I don't think the stamp set was that expensive though, Paula. If you go into the event or go up above in the description of the video, I did put a link to the actual stamp set. So I'm going to go ahead and do the same thing I did on the last one. And I'm just going to go along the bottoms here and get the ones on his head. Go behind his leg and get that line. And then, let's see. There we go. And then we're going to get YG17. And we're going to do the same. So we can make it that extra dark color. And then it's going to be the YG05 or 7. I don't know why I keep wanting to say 5. My goodness. Here we go. And then YG03, which there really isn't that much room on these little scales, but I still like to have a little bit of pop of color. You know, that nice bright green. What did I... Oh, here it is. So, and then the YG00. Just pull that color in instead of pulling the other colors out. That way you don't get over blended. And then that way as well, it's still nice and bright. You're not getting that. You're still getting a pop of color. It's not just bringing more of the dark colors out. And then his horns. here is the E43 right here. I'm going to go right along right there so that it doesn't, I don't know, what do you call that where it goes into his head? Because you know there'll be some shading from his skin. If you put a party hat on the one with the balloon, I think it could be a oh, it could totally be birthday, even with without the party hat. I think just with the balloon. I love the balloon. I love this part. I just think it's a wonderful stamp set. I love this stamp set, and there's so many sentiments. If you hang on 2 seconds, I'll show you all the sentiments. So there's his horns. And then for the white on this one, I went ahead and did a line here. I did a line on his little wings. And then I did one on his back side. And on his leg. And then we can put a little one like right here on his arm. And then you can either then put one like here on his foot. And then I put a line here on the balloon. And I put a line here on the balloon. Then we can put one here too. Okay, so there are our little guys. So for the sentiments on here, we have last year can kiss my bleepity bleep, little dots. We have holiday cheer. We have celebrate. We have good riddance, party, happy new year, just say when, make it a, and then we have great one, and we have I do I need a reason? And then there's a little question mark to go with it as well. So it has a lot of great little sentiments to go with it. So it can be birthday, New Year's. I mean, you could even do, you could do just about anything with this stamp set. It's just so darn cute. So remember, next week we don't have a class because it's Steven's birthday and my mother-in-law is here. So I will miss you next week, but I will see you the following Tuesday with the stamp set. Where is it? Let me grab it. With this little stamp set, Relax and Unwind from La La Land Crafts. We're going to color, here we go. We're going to color some more little critters. Okay? We'll get our critters on. So I will see you guys next week. Or no, not next week. Not next week. The week after. Okay? I will see you guys later. I hope you enjoyed class today. And I will check out all the other dragon stamps that I can find. Okay? Talk to you later. Bye.